to another episode of Two Fools of Fantasy Football, everybody. I'm always, as Marty McFly, with me is my buddy Tyler, the young cool fool Greer. Today, on our episode, we will talk about our do draft list and our do not draft list for quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers. Now, going over this list, we are not saying do not draft these people at all. We're just saying that they are ranked too high, in our opinion, to take in the early rounds. And the do draft list are people that you will get in the later rounds that you can still get big returns throughout the season. So we're not saying don't draft these quarterbacks, running backs, or receivers at all. We're just saying don't waste a high pick on these. So Tyler's going to kick us off with our do draft and do not draft list for our running backs. So kick it away, Tyler.
All right, cool. Thank you, Marty, for that awesome intro. So I am Tyler, the uncool fool Greer. Hey, just before we get started on this, please like, subscribe, share, add. It was really cool. Marty actually told me some of the brand new jerseys he ordered before the show, so he will be wearing them throughout the year. So you guys are gonna have some awesome surprises here. Marty got some absolutely phenomenal guys to represent this year. A lot of new, I should say, but a lot of Hall of Famers just in general. So speaking of Hall of Famers, today he's wearing the legendary Randy I Moon Olive Lambeau Field Moss. Wonderful Minnesota Vikings jersey. If you do not know what I'm talking about, go back in the archives, type in Randy Moss Moon Job, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So, and by the way, he really didn't actually moon Lambeau. He just pretended to. So it was after he scored his second or third touchdown against the Packers that game. So all right, anyways, enough of the shenanigans. So now we're going to talk about the running backs here, guys that just are too high on the draft board, guys that you should just let somebody else take for various reasons, and we're going to get into that. The first guy we're going to talk about is Josh Jacobs, and also we're going to talk about Kenyon Drake. So the running back combo for the Las Vegas Raiders. Just be really careful with those guys. They're now Josh Jacobs is rated a little bit higher than Kenyon Drake. Next guy we're going to talk about, Chris Carson. Chris Carson is a phenomenal running back. He's got tons of talent. The knock on him, he can't play a full season. If you draft Chris Carson, you better get his backup Penny, because he's going to need a lot of help this year. Chris Carson plays a very bruising style. He's never been able to play more than 12 games a year. It's not going to happen this year. So he's getting older. The Seahawks came a brand new shiny contract, which is great. But at the end of the day, it's probably not going to play all 16 games, all 17 games this year. So make sure he is somebody that you do not draft, or if you do, make sure you draft lower than the 4th or 5th round. I maybe in the 6th round. That's just where I would target him if he was still there. Next team we're going to talk about. This is a full team, guys. This team is absolutely in shambles. They have no direction. Their franchise quarterback's on ice right now. We're talking about the Houston Texans. It sucks. It's honest truth. But if you have any part of that Houston Texans backfield, you better get all three of them, because you just don't know what's going to happen. David Johnson, he's very long in the tooth. He's not what he was in 2016. Philip Lindsay, he was with the Broncos last year, signed with the Houston Texans because they're hoping that they find something out of him. I don't know if that's going to happen. He was injured last year too as well, but just with the Houston Texans backfield and what's going on with all I would stay away from all those guys. Let somebody else try to deal with that headache, because that is going to be a season-long headache all year long. That's going to be rough. Next guy who would be really tough to draft to where he's at is Myles Gaskin. And again, this is no knock on his talent. If he stays healthy for all 16 seasons, that's a very impressive career. Frank Gorish. If he stays healthy for all 17 games this year, that's going to be a great thing for him. He's got a ton of talent, ton of speed. I watched him last night. He got 2 very impressive touchdowns in the preseason game. 1 rushing, 1 passing. The talent's not an issue. Speed's not an issue. It's just the durability. It's the health. Last year he was hurt. The Dolphins went through 3 or 4 different running backs. So that being said, Myles Gaskins was somebody who I wouldn't draft, just because the fact is he's not going to play all 16 or 17 games or seasons. So it might be tough too. This guy we're going to talk about is Joe Mixon. This guy, to me, has been the biggest bust the last 2+ years on a consistent side. He's always been in the top 20, top 25, depending where you're at, which, basically if you do a 10-team league or a 12-team league, it's going to be one of your first two draft picks. And that's really tough if you have a guy who only plays 6-7 games a year. Granted, the Cincinnati Bengals have a lot better talent now than they had 2 years ago, even last year, with getting Jamar Chase and also Joe Burrow. But the big factor for them is that they play a lot of three wide receiver sets. So what does that mean? That means Joe Mixon doesn't have a whole lot of help to guard for people to block other than his offensive line. That means they don't play with a lot of fullbacks. That means they play with one tight end sets. So Joe Mixon's basically on his own right there. So Joe Mixon's never healthy too on top of that. So he's somebody that I would have a tough time drafting. Being the consistent side, he will catch you some balls. He does have a lot of talent, but just where he is in the 20th, 21, being in one of my first two top picks, that's something I wouldn't do. If he's there round 4, round 5, and I know he won't be, that's where I would probably take Joe Mixon. So that just shows you that I'm probably not going to take Joe Mixon in any of my drafts or any of my teams this year. So next guy we're going to put on the do not draft list, and this is no knock on him whatsoever. This dude is all world, Aaron Jones. The reason why he's on the do not draft list is for 2 reasons. Number one, Green Bay drafted this monster named A.J. Dillon last year. You guys might have heard of him. So he's got his nickname is Quadzilla. He's got quads as big as my body. All right. So they're going to use him when it gets cold. Yeah, he's a gigantic human being. So when it gets cold, Lambeau Field, who do you want? Do you want a 260-pound dude coming down the train, or do you want a 180-pound dude coming down the train? I think they're going to use the 260-pound guy. So I think they're going to use A.J. Dillon, and they're going to use him a lot. And you know also they're going to use him a lot? The goal line. You know why? Guys do not want to tackle a big boy. They do not want to do that. So Aaron Jones will be great this year, but look for a lot of his points to get taken away from him in the goal line area, and also too when it gets cold. So we're not saying that his talent's not there. Can he last 17 games? I don't know. He's never lasted a full season before. Now I know his knock on him is he's a little on the smaller side. Well, he is. He is a little on the smaller side. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just the way he's built. But in the NFL level, when you're getting hit by guys 230, 240, 250 who can run 4.4s, 4.5s, and they get you right, it's going to hurt. So, but anyways, Aaron Jones is a great guy to get. It's not in the first round, maybe not in the second round. If he was in the third round, if he was in the 30s, I'd be all over him. I really would, but just having my first round pick for a guy who is going to split a lot of carries with A.J. Dillon to keep his body healthy, and I think A.J. Dillon's going to get a lot of the goal line carries too as well. Just somebody I wouldn't draft in the first round. Last guy on our do not draft list this high is Alvin Kamara, AK-41. The reason is for this is a really interesting dynamic this year in New Orleans. Doesn't matter how you slice it. No Michael Thomas. No Drew Brees. Oh, Michael Thomas for the first month, excuse me. And the reason why it's so interesting and so different, because you're going to have either Jameis Winston in or Taysom Hill. If you watch any games last year with Taysom Hill, AK-41 did not do a whole lot in any way, shape, or form. He did not do a ton. He had a rough time. He had a rough go. Jameis Winston is not Drew Brees. Alvin Kamara is not going to get a ton of those small swing passes like he got from Drew Brees now with Jameis Winston under the center. So it's going to be a different dynamic. A lot of guys are going to load up the box now since Michael Thomas isn't there. They're going to have he's going to have a tough time rushing the ball. So Alvin Kamara, he's just somebody I wouldn't draft in the first round, in the top first round, maybe in the top of the second round. That's somewhere I would look at him to go, but I know he's not going to be there. He'll be a top 5 running back off the board. Just somebody I wouldn't draft that high. So those are the guys who we have the do not draft list. Now we're going to go to the guys who are too low and the guys that you should draft. The first guy we're going to talk about is, A.J. Dillon. I kind of gave him high praise on the other part with Aaron Jones. The reason why he's on the do draft list is for all these things that I just said. He's going to get a lot of the goal line carries. He's going to be carrying a lot in the cold weather. Next guy we're going to talk about is Zach Moss, a guy that I'm all over, the guy who I want to draft, the guy who I want stocks, shares, bonds, annuities, CDs, whatever you want. I want all of the Zach Moss this year. He's going to be the man in Buffalo. He's going to get all the goal line carries. He's going to get all the points. At worst, he's going to be the law firm. If you remember who that guy is, he was the vulture. He would take all the 1-2 yard touchdowns. for the Cincinnati Bengals back in the day. So what was that? Ben Jarvis Ellis, right? The law firm, right?
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Thanks, Taco. So yeah, he's going to vulture everything this year. Also, too, another guy who we absolutely love is Mike Davis. Mike Davis isn't the sexiest name, but man, he'll get it done. He's going to be in a run-first offense with Atlanta. Atlanta's got an older quarterback, so with that being said, I know they got a shiny new object here at the tight end with Kyle Pitts. They got a wonderful number one wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. Oh man. But at the end of the day, they're going to hand the ball to Mike Davis. Mike Davis is going to get his. He's somebody who you want to draft. He is way too low right now. You can get him in like the 6th, 7th round. That's what you call a steal. 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 Get him. Next thing we're talking about is what? You didn't like that? It is. It's a steal, man. Grab him. Next guy we can talk about is Darrell Henderson, man, from the Los Angeles Rams. This dude is going to be a freaking stud. Last year, when he was the bell cow, he was in the top 12 running backs for the four games. He was by himself as the bell cow. Look for the similar production. Look for the Rams to go to the run game just as much as they are with Stafford. He's ranked way too low. Grab him. Next guy we're going to talk about is J.K. Dobbins. Recently, J.K. Dobbins, I just looked at all the stuff. He went down to almost 40. Which is extremely low. I know they got a 3-headed monster down in Baltimore, but that is the 3-headed monster of the best rushing offense in all of football. Grab him. He's gonna play. He's gonna play most of the year. If he gets injured, if he's out 1 or 2 games, so be it. Getting him in the 4th round or 3rd round that late is going to be an absolute steal. He's going to get you a lot of points. He's going to make you a very, very happy owner if you can get him in the 3rd round. So, next thing we're going to talk about is Miles Sanders from Philly. There's been some knocks on him about he's being injured. Boston Scott might take some reps from him. First of all, people forget how good this guy was 2 years ago. He was an absolute stud. Nobody counted on him doing anything, and he basically played the second half of his rookie year, and he was a top 10 guy. So let him play the whole year. Let him play without injuries. Let him fly, or as they say in Philly, fly, Eagles, fly. And let him just, yeah. Oh, that looks like, oh, that's a pretty bird. Oh, my gosh, you a pretty purple bird. So, yeah, so they're just going to let him fly. They're going to let him do his thing. So we'll see what happens, but I'm all over him. I would love to get him in the mid-3rd rounds all day. Sign me up for that. Next guy we're going to talk about is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Second-year guy. He's going to get better. The Chiefs are going to give him the ball more. They just revamped their entire offensive line. They got a lot better this offseason, and that's really scary to say that the team that's been in the Super Bowl back-to-back years got better. It's extremely scary to say. I hate to say that. The rest of the NFC is screwed. Sorry, boys. Hate to break the news to you. But if you can get any kind of shares of him in the 2nd round, go for it. Go get it. He's going to be fine this year. You got a little minor ankle ding-up sprain in the preseason game. He'll be fine. He'll be ready to go. He's going to be going against a much better line. They're going to give him the ball. They're going to try to keep Patrick Mahomes up on his feet much better. So look for him to really excel this year. Next guy we're going to talk about is Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb, man. He's going to be a top 5 running back this year. Draft him. Don't worry about Kareem Hunt. They're both going to get theirs. They got a great coach. They probably have the best offensive line in all of football. They have a average to above average quarterback. Can I say that? I don't know. What do you think Baker is? He's probably like a little bit above average, league average, like maybe like 15th, 16th, maybe. I don't know. But he doesn't need to be any more than that because they have the running game to go. So they're going to give Chubb a lot this year. Give him the ball. He'll be fine. He's somebody I would definitely draft. If you got like an 8, if you're in like that 7, 8, 9 in the 1st round, and you're kind of like, oh man, who should I draft? Should I take maybe Adam? Should I take maybe Eckler? Should I maybe take Barkley? Grab Chubb. He's a very safe bet. Very, very safe bet. Speaking of Austin Eckler, he's next on our list. Austin Eckler for the San Diego Chargers. Just to let you know, I always like to know who the offensive coaches are. So last year, actually last couple of years, the New Orleans Saints offensive coordinator is now the LA Chargers new offensive coordinator. There's a guy, I don't know if you heard him. His name's Alvin Kamara. Have you ever heard of him, Marty?
I've heard of him, yes.
Yeah. He's okay, right? Yeah. So they said that Austin Eckler is going to be their Alvin Kamara. So, okay. So if you got like a 6th, 7th, 8th pick, and if you're wondering who the hell to draft, take a shot at this guy. This guy's going to absolutely tear it up for you this year. He's going to have a great year. They're saying they're going to have all the Alvin Kamara in this guy's game this year. Yeah, sign me up for that, please. I will take him. I'm going to make a statement here, and you guys can run this back at the end of the year and let me know if I was way off or off. I would take Austin Eckler 5th overall over Alvin Kamara. So just saying. That's me. You guys can run that back. You can let me know if I was off or if I was on or whatever, but I will stick by it because that's how I am. That's how I roll. So last guy we're going to draft, man, is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor last year was unbelievable the last 6 games. Do you think anything different is going to change? If you think he's going to go down the hill, if you think he's going to suck, you're so far wrong. You couldn't be any more wrong if you tried. Jonathan Taylor to me is some guy I would take in the top 3. Maybe I'm going to take that back. Top 4 running backs. If I had to make a list, he would be in my top 4. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. So he is an absolute stud. He can do everything you want. He can catch, he can run, he can do it all. So, but yeah, Jonathan Taylor is going to be a top running back this year. I would have him in the top 4, barring any injury. He would be somebody I would draft if you're in that. And I keep saying the 5, 6, 7, 8 because that's such a weird draft place because you're going to have your top guys go. You're going to have your run CMC, your Cook, your Henry, then you're at like 4 through 8, you're kind of on an island, this year. You're kind of like, oh man, like who do I want to grab? Where do I want to go? Who do I want? So in all honesty, I told you Austin Eckler would be my 5th pick overall if I'm in it. Number 4, Marty, you want to take a guess who my number 4 pick is?
JT?
That's right. And not Jonathan Taylor Thomas, not the guy from Home Improvement, not that guy. Not Simba.
We're not talking about, and we're also not talking about jive turkeys either.
No Simba on this one either. We're talking about the real deal Holyfield, Jonathan Taylor, number 28, the Colts. All right, Marty. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing it back over here to Marty, the Purple People Eater. If you don't know that song, we all did that song in elementary school. He is going to give you the top 12 running backs this year who we think are going to absolutely dominate. Marty's going to start off with number 12. So, Marty, take it away.
All right, starting at number 12 this year, we're going to Philadelphia, and Miles Sanders, running back for the Philadelphia Eagles last year. Tyler talked about him earlier. He killed it last year and 2 years ago. We think he's going to do it just as well this year again too. So, number 11, down to Kansas City with the old Clydesdale. He had a great first 3 games last year and then kind of just like leveled out, and then he would have one good game and everybody was like, oh, he's coming back, and then he's back to living level out again. But he's our number 11 pick this year, or ranked, and for running backs, number 11 ranked running backs this year. Number 10, we're going to the Washington football team. Washington football team. Sorry if I upset anybody. Antonio Gibson. I think he was going to kill it this year. There's not too many. I hate to say it because I'm a Cowboys fan, but there's not too many really good defenses in the East this year. So Gibson will run all over the place. Sticking with the East again, Saquon Barkley. He's ranked 9th for us just because he's coming off such a big injury last year. The guy can now he can ball. We all know that, but with the injury he had last year, we'll put him at 9th, just kind of a safe draft pick right there, and then up at number 8, going Eckler from the Chargers. Tyler talked about how great he's going to do this year, and I'm with him in the same boat. I think he's going to kill it in LA this year. Number 7, to my boys, Zeke Elliott. We think he's going to have a bounce back year now that he's got his boy Dak Prescott back. You could see severely his decline last year without Dak as a quarterback for him this year. But now with Dak back, that rhymed. With Dak back in the sack, no, I don't want him sacked. Anyway, Zeke's going to bounce back from his off year last year. Number 6, AK-41. Talked about him. Tyler talked about him earlier. We don't think he's going to have his season he had 2 years ago, but just because he has a new quarterback, we still think he'll still get the yards and the dump off passes. So he's great getting receiving yards as well. Number 5, Tyler loves this guy, the old Chubster, Nick Chubb out of Cleveland. He does have the number one offensive line this year, according to NFL.com. He's got the number one offensive line. So, and according to ESPN, Baker's the 21st ranked quarterback. So a little bit below average, but still good. I mean, he's playing a quarterback in the NFL. He's not some scrub. Talked about JT, Jonathan Taylor, out of Indianapolis. Another great offensive line to run behind. Still has the weapons to catch balls out of the backfield. Number 3, beast mode, Derrick Henry, out of Tennessee. Number 3, Derrick Henry. I mean, we all saw what he did last year. He's just throwing people all over the place. You can't stop him. He's impossible to bring down. He's like, just picture if Tennessee drafted A.J. Dillon too, and you had Dillon and Henry in the backfield.
That would be
what the hell?
that would be the strongest squatting running back room of all time. Oh, and by the way, I mean one-legged too.
Right. 2, going to the Vikings. Dalvin, I can't cook, so I must run in the NFL. Cook. As long as he stays healthy, he's number 2 overall. That's his thing. I picked him up 2 years ago when he was a rookie as a backup, and he did great for me, and then he got hurt, and my season took a dive.
Yep.
So as long as he can stay healthy, he's money. He's just money as long as he can stay healthy.
Money.
Number 1, of course, is Jake Luck out of he's the backup in for the Chargers behind Eckler. We picked him. And, I'm sorry, the other white guy. It's McCaffrey. Sorry, I've got my white running backs confused.
Wait,
so we're going to go
with
more
than one
Christian
in the
McCaffrey,
NFL?
number 1. Yes.
Awesome. Did not know that.
So yes, of course, it's run CMC.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can play more than he was out 13 games last year. So hopefully we'll get him more than 3 games this year. The kid is he's unbelievable what he can do. So if you have the first pick, I mean, if you have the number 1 draft pick in your draft, you can't go wrong with McCaffrey, Cook, or Henry at number 1. Just depends on what your point system is.
Dude, I'm taking a kicker.
But yeah, I mean, they are the toughest. So, I mean, kickers get more points than any player in the NFL every year.
That's true. In real life, though.
Real life. Just saying.
I'm gonna get the guy who's gonna get a 650-yard.
Highest scoring player in NFL history is not a quarterback, a receiver, or a running back. It's a kicker.
That's true. Adam Vinatieri.
So take that with a grain of salt. Anyway, so McCaffrey, number 1, obvious choice.
Yes.
Now Tyler is going to take us through our do not do and top 12 of receivers.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, Marty. I appreciate that. I think McCaffrey's probably the easiest number 1 pick. I can't really say that because I think Devontae Adams for a receiver is probably up there too as well. But I mean, McCaffrey and Cook, if you have 1 or 2, you really can't go wrong. Either way you go, if you think Cook's gonna have a better season, you're not gonna get an argument from me. If you think McCaffrey's gonna have a better season than Cook, again, you're not gonna get an argument from me because that really is like splitting hairs. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the wide receivers, some guys not to draft, some guys to be very wary about, and we're gonna tell you why. All right, Marty, thank you so much for that, man. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the wide receivers now. Just some guys who you don't want to draft this year, some guys who you do want to draft, and then Marty's going to give you our top 12 going into the season. So we're just going to go over some guys. One guy you don't want to draft this year is Juju Smith-Schuster. He's still in the 50s for whatever reason. He's actually really, really high. He's a little too high for my liking. I wouldn't draft him that high whatsoever. He's somebody I let somebody else take. Juju had 2 good games last year. The Steelers have a lot of mouths to feed. And also getting the rookie running back, Tomlin, he's going to want to focus on running the ball a lot this year. So that's going to take the ball out of Big Ben's hands as a little bit less this year. So he's not going to be throwing the 40, 50, 60, 70 passes a game like he did last year, whatever crazy number it was. So Juju Smith-Schuster is somebody I would just let somebody else draft. Next guy on this on this list is Kenny Galladay. Kenny Galladay cannot stay healthy. He is creeping down everybody's draft board right now. Even if he was like a 10th round pick, I probably wouldn't take him. It's not because he's not talented. The dude's just not healthy. And if you're not available, what good are you to a fantasy football team or to the New York Giants as of right now? So some dude I just wouldn't touch at all. Next guy I wouldn't touch is Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen is a good wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. He was borderline great a couple years ago. He has crossed the age of over 30, so he's on the decline. And also, plus they have this guy named Justin Jefferson, who is slightly amazing. I don't know if you heard of him, but he was a rookie last year. He set every rookie record for Minnesota, other than maybe Mr. Randy Moss. So it was pretty incredible. I would stay away from would be Amari Cooper. The reason why I would stay away from Amari Cooper, the Cowboys have a lot of mouths to feed. You're going to have Zeke look for a bounce back year. He's going to be determined to rush the ball like crazy. They're going to want to keep Dak up this year. They're not going to want Dak to throw as much, to use as much footwork and rushing. So look for the Cowboys to be a little bit more run heavy this year than they were last year. So what that's going to equivalent to, Amari Cooper's probably not going to get as many balls thrown his way, not as much productivity. Also, too, CeeDee Lamb in year 2 is going to have a huge leap. He's going to take another step forward, and so is Michael Gallup. So Amari Cooper, somebody on the do not draft list whatsoever. Next guy we're going to talk about is Mike Evans from Tampa Bay. The reason why I say this is because he is literally one step away from a pulled hamstring. This guy is hurt every year, and it's always the same damn thing. Hamstring, quad maybe, but mostly hamstring. So anyways, so just stay away from this guy. He's got a lot of talent. He'll play maybe 12, 13 games. It's a longer season this year. You got Chris Godwin. You got Gronk. You got all these weapons for Brady. Also Antonio Brown. They have a nice run game too. They're going to be a well-rounded offense this year. Mike Evans will get his absolutely, but will he get his all year long in a 17-game season? Absolutely not. And then you don't want to be that manager in the playoff time with your top receiver picked, and he could be out with a hamstring injury. You don't want that. You don't want to have that on your table. The next guy we're going to talk about, and the last guy for this one, we're going to talk about Keenan Allen for the Los Angeles Chargers. And this is no knock on Keenan Allen whatsoever. This is more relatable to the Austin Eckler situation. They're going to get the ball to Eckler a lot this year. They're going to get him a ton. Also to Los Angeles Chargers, they're going to have a well-rounded offense. They're going to have a good quarterback. Mike Williams is going to step up this year. So Keenan Allen is somebody who I would draft. I would draft him. The reason why he is on my our do not draft list is because he's a little bit too high for the liking. So some of the guys that we would draft, some of the guys who we are extremely high on. The first guy is T. Higgins, the receiver out of the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins had an amazing rookie year last year. The only reason why he didn't win Rookie of the Year for the opposite side is because of Justin Jefferson. That's the only reason why. Justin Jefferson just had that much of a better year than T. Higgins. But yeah, T. Higgins, you can get him in about the 5th, 6th round, 7th round, depending on where you're at. Green light, go get him. He's climbing up draft boards like crazy. If you have a draft right now, you can get him very low in the 6th round. Go get him right now. Next guy we're talking about is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is going to be the biggest recipient of the Matt Stafford experiment. I guess you can call it an experiment. He is going to he's going to throw the ball. He's going to toss the ball. Cooper Kupp is going to be his blanket. He's going to find Cooper Kupp. They will have great chemistry. Cooper Kupp is a 4th, 5th round pick right now. I would draft him. A couple of years ago, he was the 3rd best receiver in all of fantasy football, and that was with Jared Goff at quarterback. If he can stay healthy and they have a great connection, imagine what he can do with a healthy Matt Stafford behind that offensive line. Next guy who we're all in on is DJ Moore, Carolina Panthers. They got I want to say major improvement at quarterback, but I don't want to go overboard. They definitely got better, though. I believe Sam Darnold is going to be an upgrade from Teddy Bridgewater. That's my personal opinion. That's why DJ Moore is on the list of new draft. He is about a 3rd round, 4th round guy right now. Take him, get him, put him in your lineup. You'll be happy. Also, to the last guy we're going to talk about is going to be CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb right now is somebody who is absolutely hot. He's moving up in the draft boards. He actually moved up from the 4th round to the 3rd round this week on draft board. So if you can get CeeDee Lamb in the 3rd round, I would not hate that. The Cowboys have a very potent offense. They have a lot of weapons. Dak is a phenomenal quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback this year. go get him with possibly the number 1 wide receiver in Dallas this year in CeeDee Lamb. So he was somebody that I would draft in the 3rd round, no problem. Just so you know, I'm Marty over here, big ass Cowboy fan. Tyler over here, not. So, and then just being that, but just looking at the fantasy football side, I would be all over CeeDee Lamb. I would draft him in an absolute heartbeat. All right. So now what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to talk about the top 12 wide receivers who is going to be on me and Marty's eyes this year. The guys who we see as the top tier wide receivers going into the 2021 NFL season. So we have this one as a tie. 12, we have Cooper Kupp, Chris Godwin, DJ Moore. We talked about all these guys to an extent over there in the last round. We couldn't really decide on who would be number 12, so we decided to make a 3-way tie, and we like all of them. So if you want any piece of those guys, go get them. Number 11 here, we have Scary Terry McLaurin. Number 10, we have Allen Robinson II. Allen Robinson is going to have the best quarterback he's ever played with in Justin Fields once he gets on the field. It's only a matter of time. Number 8 this year. Actually, we have a tie for 8 this year. The first number 8 we have is CeeDee Lamb for the Dallas Cowboys. The next number 8 is Justin Jefferson. Number 7. Now this is going to be a surprise to many people. We don't have Stephon Diggs that high compared to most. We have Stephon Diggs rated number 7. The reason why we do that is because Josh Allen is going to have to they're going to rush the ball more in Buffalo. Josh Allen's going to have a little bit less passing opportunities is our decision behind that. So Stephon Diggs is still going to have a great season, just not at the level he played at last year. Number 6 is going to be one of the most young star-ridden wide receivers we've seen in a very, very long time. A.J. Brown from the Tennessee Titans. This guy, if you've never seen this guy play, he is the total package. We got him number 6, right outside the top 5. With the addition of having Julio Jones, he's going to get one-on-one coverage, and with beast mode back there running the ball, he's going to have just that the whole Tennessee Titans offense. They're going to be scoring points upon points upon points upon points. So if you want to get part of the Tennessee Titans offense, get all of it. Just go all in. Just go for it. Number 5 is going to be Calvin Ridley for the Atlanta Falcons. Calvin Ridley is their number 1 receiver this year. He's their undisputed number 1. I know everybody's really big on the Kyle Pitts bandwagon, but you have your number 1 guy there. Calvin Ridley, do not be shy. Draft him, get him, put all investments in him. Next guy we're going to talk about is DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is an absolute beast in every which way, shape, or form. He's going to be on the Seattle Seahawks again this year. He's going to have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Passing him that ball, Russell Wilson has the prettiest deep passing ball ever. He's going to get that. He's going to get that in DK Metcalf's hands. DK Metcalf's going to get a lot of nice points this year. Number 3 is DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins for the Arizona Cardinals has one of the best young upcoming quarterbacks, if not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year. We'll see if he can take that leap and maybe possibly go over Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. But DeAndre Hopkins, number 3 this year, he is the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL, in my personal opinion. Number 2, this guy's going to have a huge year. It's his free agent walk year for Green Bay, Devontae Adams. Look for him to have a great year. Again, he's got his number 1 quarterback. He's got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, so that obviously helps. And the top wide receiver going into the year 2021 is going to be Tyreek Hill for the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, in most pundits' opinions for fantasy football, he's got the best quarterback in all of the league. Tyreek Hill will do his thing. He will score many points. So if you got him, take him. Obviously, if you're going to spend a first-round pick on him, if you're looking like 11, 12, and Tyreek Hill's sitting there, take him. Don't even take a second guess. So take him. Enjoy the points. Enjoy your number 1 fantasy wide receiver in all of football, according to the Two Fools. So now Marty's going to talk to you about the draft quarterbacks, do not draft quarterbacks, and also our top 10 quarterbacks going into this year. So Marty, take it away, sir. Now Marty's going to talk to you about the draft quarterbacks, do not draft quarterbacks, and also our top 10 quarterbacks going into this year. So Marty, take it away, sir.
Thank you. And I also want to hope that Tyreek Hill takes up Usain Bolt on his bet to see who is faster, because Usain Bolt has, if you haven't heard this, Usain Bolt has put up his gold medal versus Tyreek Hill's Super Bowl ring in a 100-yard dash. So
I got Bolt.
right, when a 100-yard dash, I'll have Bolt. In a 40-yard dash, I'll take Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill's not used to running 100 yards all the time.
Should they meet in the middle and do like what would that be, like a 65-yard dash?
Yeah, 65-yard dash. Whoever wins that gets the Tyreek Hill's going to either have a gold medal or Usain Bolt's going to have a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the generals of the field. Our do not and do draft, and then the top 12 quarterbacks, how we've ranked them. Not how ESPN's ranked them, how we have ranked them.
Or Yahoo.
Or Yahoo. Or NFL.com. Or anybody else. We do our own rankings. We don't believe in believing somebody else. We do our own research. Okay?
I think they copy ours.
Yeah, they should.
Seriously, I watch a lot of the stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I just said that like last week. Yeah, I just said like 2 shows ago. Yeah, like, okay. Like, yeah, me and Marty just covered this like 5 hours ago. Yeah, you guys are late. All right, congratulations. Welcome to the party, boys.
Ian Rappaport's been watching our show.
The rap sheet?
Yes. Okay, so on our do not
raps?
draft for QBs, we're now, once again, we're not saying don't draft these players at all. They're just ranked a little too high for our liking. So, on our do not draft, this is someone I won't ever take. So, I'm saying do not draft him because he's not even ranked in the top 25. Jared Goff. Don't take him. Don't take him. Don't take him. So, yeah, Jared Goff. It's just no. He went to Detroit. So, yeah, that's the reason not to take him. Next on the list, Big Ben. Big Ben's getting up there in age. Yes, he does have weapons, but still, he's currently ranked 18th for us, and is just he's ranked way too high. And just, I mean, if you want to take him in the late rounds, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, whatever, and you want to, take a late round pick on a quarterback, go ahead, take Big Ben. He'll still get you some points with all those wide receivers. He'll still get you some points. According to us, ranked number 11. This is according to ESPN, not us. These rankings are according to ESPN. Tannehill's ranked 11. Ryan Tannehill's just too high for us. I mean, he's a great quarterback, but he's a great quarterback because of the weapons he has around him. With A.J. Brown, with Julio Jones, with Derrick Henry out of the backfield, he gets points because they get you points. So Ryan Tannehill's just ranked a little too high for us. Next one on our list, second to last, is yes,
Marty. You know what I think? I think I think we have Ryan Tannehill right, where I think it's too high at 11. The only way I think he gets that high is if those guys have a lot of yak yards, and I could see Tennessee honestly leading the NFL in yak yards. I hate saying that, but I could see that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, and no, never mind. I won't say that. I don't think it's going to be true. I was thinking about another quarterback. Anyway, our second to last on this do that draft from the great Northeast, Russell Wilson. He's getting up there in age as well. Now he does have DK out of there. He does have Tyler Lockett. Tyler doesn't like Tyler Lockett. He's still a decent wide receiver too. Out of there. So
is he?
But Russell Wilson goes up against a lot of good defenses playing in his division 6 times a year. So that's why he's ranked a little bit too high for us. So you get him in 5th, 6th. If you can get him in the 6th round, I would take him if he's there in the 6th round, possibly 7th. But don't draft him any higher than 6 or 7. I would take him 7th or lower. Lower? Okay.
Yeah, well, I would take Herbert over Wilson.
And number 1 on our draft list for quarterbacks is Jared Allen. Now, we're not saying don't draft him at all, but in mock drafts and drafts that we've already done, he's getting taken in the 2nd round, 3rd round. Way too high for Josh Allen. He's 5th, 6th round. If you're drafting number 1 or number 10th overall and you got oh, I need to get a quarterback before all the decent ones are taken, then take him in the 6th round, depending on where you're drafting. But don't take him any higher than number 6. Drafts for QBs, I'm going to go age. I'm going to go age-wise on the dude drafts.
Fancy.
Now, these rankings are according to ESPN, currently ranked 16th on the quarterbacks is the old man Fitzy. Old man Fitzmagic. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Nice beard.
Yeah. Yeah, with the beard and everything. Now signed with Washington. He still has some magic left in his arm. He can still get you a ton of points. One good thing about Washington, which I used to always draft Kirk Cousins a couple years back, because he always got you garbage points because Washington was always behind. So you go into the 3rd quarter, Kirk Cousins has me 12 points into the game. Kirk Cousins has me 30 points because he did nothing but pass the entire 4th quarter. So that's why I always like Kirk Cousins, because he's always playing from behind, so he gets you garbage points. And garbage points wins games.
Wins championships.
So don't knock garbage points. Next on the list, currently ranked 12th by ESPN, is old Matty Stafford. Drafted this guy this year.
12th.
Drafted this year. Yeah, 12th according to ESPN. Draft Stafford this year. Dude, the guy is going to kill it in LA. He has so many weapons, so many young kids, great young coach. He's finally out of Detroit where he can actually play.
He can actually breathe.
Yeah, so draft Matt Stafford this year, currently ranked 12th. I'm saying maybe 7, 8, maybe 9th round. You could steal him. If you can steal him in the 11th round, get him. If he's there in 11, then you don't have you already say you picked up Mahomes, Murray, or Jackson already in the draft. Pick up Matt Stafford as your backup in the late rounds if he's there.
Hey, Marty, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't mean to give away this. I don't mean to give away one of our guys, but I'm going to just say one other thing with that. If you take Matt Stafford in the 9th, 10th round and say you go get Justin Fields in the 12th round, I think you're okay for the quarterback for the year in fantasy football.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're not getting a top 5 guy, but I mean, if you play it right, the way that Justin Fields, he's going to play probably week 4, week 5. And you have Matt Stafford. Now you're looking at possibly doing a sweet trade too. On top of that, if you look in the future like that.
True.
So just saying, boys.
So we talked about Fitzmagic. We got about Stafford. Now next on the age list, currently ranked 25th.
Oh, jeez.
Sam the Man Darnold in Carolina. He's ranked 25th. The guy is going to kill it in Carolina this year, as you can see with Tyler's background of the Carolina Panthers stadium. He's got so many great weapons in Carolina this year. He's finally out of New Jersey, out of the Jets, which every player should always want to be out of the Jets. But another great thing is he doesn't have Adam Case.
Who? Adam Headcase?
Yes, Adam Headcase. Doesn't have Adam Gase running his career down the toilet. So, yeah, Sam Darnold on a dude draft left. You can get him in the late rounds. He's going to be a steal. Coming up next, I'm not sure on the age of these gentlemen, but I'm just going to – what?
Do you think Adam Gase went to the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins head coaching interview job? He's like, nah, don't worry. I'll ruin all the talent. So that way your draft capital will be like 0. You think that was like I think that's how he got hired? Like, hey, your team's going to be so shitty.
Yeah, he went to the Jets. He's like, look, do you want a bunch of first-round draft picks, top 5 draft picks for the next 5 years? I'm your guy. I'll get you those top 5 draft picks for the next 5 years.
You don't like having a running game, right? Cool. I got you covered. No worries.
I got you.
You like ruining young guys' career? Got you covered.
It's me.
That's me. Where do I sign, boss?
So I don't know who's older, who's younger between these two, but I'll just go according to rankings on ESPN. Justin Fields, draft the kid. Tyler talked about it earlier.
Sorry, spoiler.
I think he will be starting before week 4. I don't think the old Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, is going to be starting past week 2.
No.
Maybe after the first half of week 2, he's already out and Justin Fields is already starting. Depends on what's going on there in Chicago. Chicago's got a great bunch of young talent around him. So I think Fields will take over in game 2.
Do you think there's
Yes,
a
Tyler.
betting? Do you think there's a betting line on Andy Dalton only playing one half this year? Because if there is, I would take that.
No, but yeah, if there's a bet line that says Dalton plays one half this entire season, take it. Take that bet.
$100 down. Smack it down on that.
Right. Smack it down on the counter.
That's all right. Done.
And next, for our last do draft, is the old number 1 pick, Trevor Lawrence, out of Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to be too high on his numbers this year because he lost the greatest tight end in history of Tim Tebow. They already cut him. So God will not be on the side of the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. Sorry to say.
That guy couldn't block me.
So, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he's gonna do great this year. Hopefully with the new coach, new team, Jacksonville probably, they're not going to win the division, but I'm guaranteed they're going to surprise a lot of people. Then, they're not going to go 1-16 or 2-15. They're not going to be that bad. So,
yeah, good job on the 17
receivers, decent defense. So,
yeah.
I'm going to say it now, 5 wins, 5 to 6 wins for the Jaguars this year. So, say it now. And if you guys remember, I was right about the freaking Steelers last year.
He was.
Except for only one game. I said they were going to lose the rest of the season, but they only won one game in the last 5 seasons, in the last 5 games. Plus, they lost their first round of the playoffs.
And just to let you all know, I laughed at Marty behind the scenes. I didn't do it on the video because I thought like that was not going to happen. Yeah, I ate some crow.
They were the absolute worst 11-0 team in the history of football.
Yeah, they proved that.
Yeah, those are our do not and do draft for QBs this year. And now we're going to go to the top 12 rankings according to us. We've ranked them this high, or we've ranked them in these ranks. It's not according to Yahoo, NFL.com, ESPN, none of that. This is our rank. We've ranked these quarterbacks where we've ranked them. So
yeah, this is
number 12.
Some good stuff here. This is some good stuff right here.
Number 12. We'll go to number 12, just like the running backs in Philadelphia. Jalen Hurts.
They got good cream cheese over there.
I'm a Cowboys fan, so I have to hate Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So just how it is. Sorry. Anyway, so Jalen Hurts out of Philadelphia. The kid is just once crappy glass Carson Wentz went down, and they decided to put in Jalen Hurts. He took off, had a great last half of the season. So I hate Carson Wentz. He's a piece of trash. So actually like Jalen Hurts. I think he's pretty decent for being only his sophomore year. We'll see how he does. Another sophomore season right here, coming off big injury. Good old Joe Burrow out of Cleveland. He surprised a lot of people last year.
Cincinnati.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
Cleveland.
I'm sorry, Cincinnati. Same state.
You do have a point.
Okay? Same state. Anyway, history of 2 really crappy teams in the state of Ohio. But Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, he'll bounce back from his injury last year. I think he will take them to the playoffs this year. I don't know if they'll win a playoff game, but they will be in the playoffs this year.
What?
Yes.
What?
I think that there will be 3 playoff teams from the north this year, and one of them will not be Pittsburgh.
Wow. Okay.
4 teams in the AFC North. 3 of them will be in the playoffs, and one will not be Pittsburgh. So
second video of the year already doing that. All right, cool beans.
okay.
We'll lock that up.
Plus, Joe Burrow has his boy Chase from LSU.
Oh, that might be dangerous.
You got Higgins and Chase.
Boyd.
And Boyd.
Oh.
You lost your perennial, all-time favorite AJ Green. but that's all right.
See if he even plays
He
this
still
year.
has decent crew around him. Number 10 on our list, Russell Wilson. We did put him on a do not draft just because. Yes, Wilson.
What? Wilson 10?
Wilson 10.
This is definitely not ESPN.
No. Because ESPN has him 6th. We have him 10th.
No.
He still has the the new Megatron to throw to in Metcalf, which we saw last year. And Russell Wilson always starts the season strong. He's always in the first 6-7 games he'll be like MVP, and then he kind of he levels off. So I think this year he'll a little bit uptick, not too bad, but he'll still have a decent season, gets you a lot of points. Number 9 on our list is Matty. Thank God I'm out of Detroit, Stafford. ESPN had him 12th. We had him 9th. We think he's actually going to kill it in LA this year with the young talent around him. So we already talked about him earlier. So yeah, Stafford, number 9. Number 8, Tom. I'm never going to retire Brady. They will have to drag his carcass off the field before he retires. So anyway, after 20 plus years in New England, 6 rings, goes down to Tampa Bay, gets another one his first year. I mean, the guy just eludes winningness. I don't even know if that's a word or right phrase, but the guy fucking wins. Pardon my language, the guy wins. Yeah, he's got things on every finger.
It's not a word. I looked it up.
Oh, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
So yes,
that was
Brady.
this.
Oh, Tom Brady, number 8. Number 7 on our list is Aaron Rodgers. He done messed up.
Green
Aaron
Bay.
Rodgers, still one of the greatest to play the game. Future Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ. He's finally back. We don't know how well. We still don't know how well he will play under this current situation in Green Bay. Whether he's just going to be bitter or he's just going to say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to throw for 6,000 yards and 60 TDs, and then I'm going to leave. We don't know. We don't know what he's going to do. But still, we got Aaron Rodgers still ranked number 7 on our list. Number 6, Justin. I got my tan on the beach, Herbert, out of LA. So I don't know what to say about the kid. The kid is awesome. He turned everybody's heads last year. Right. Everybody's like, who's this guy playing out of LA here? He's like, oh, the guy playing lights out? Yeah, it's Justin Herbert. You should know who he is. Keenan Allen, got Eckler out of the backfield. So, yeah, Justin Herbert ranked number 6 on our list. Number 5 on our list is Josh Allen out of the Buffalo Bills, 4-time runner-up Buffalo Bills. Like I said, ESPN has him ranked number 2. We've got him ranked number 5. Just think that with the running game there, he's not going to do a lot of passing. Stephon Diggs is ranked way too high for us too. So that's why we have now Josh Allen. He can still run. He can run just as well as his running backs can. That's one great thing about him. So he's still going to get you the points. But yes, Tyler?
Yeah, I look for him to have a downtick in rushing touchdowns this year. That's one of the main reasons why we got him a little lower.
Okay. Yeah, he's still going to get you some points, just not as well as he did last year. Number 4 on our list, Lamar. I have a huge head Jackson out of the Ravens. Jackson is Jackson. He has been the last 2 years. He's going to get the same amount of points this year. I mean, like we said, like Tyler talks about in the running backs of due draft list, they got the 3-headed monster running back field back there. So if you can sit there and get Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, and
Gus Edwards.
Yeah, Gus Edwards. Yeah, Gus. You can get those 3 people. Start them every week. You're going to get a ton of rushing yards, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of passing yards. So start those 3 guys every week. You're golden. Number 3 on our list, we have the guy who, if had not broken his ankle, probably would have passed for 6,000 yards last year, and Dak Prescott for the boys. I look for him to have – this is me talking as a fan. I look for him to have a really great season this year. Bounced back. He's looking good in practices and stuff like that I've watched. So
practice? We're talking about practice? We're talking about practice, man. Practice?
He is who we think he is. So anyway, Dak Prescott, number 3. He's got, like Tyler talked about earlier, the plethora of wide receivers. Cooper, Gallup, Lamb, Zeke out of the backfield. Even Pollard out of the backfield too. Tight ends, we decided not to have tight ends in the Cowboys anymore. Ever since Witten left, we decided that we don't need tight ends anymore. So we won't even talk about them. Number 2, Kyler, I'm a very short man, Murray, out of Arizona, is ranked number 2 for us. He's very, very short. I mean, very, very short.
He is. For NFL standards.
Like Tyler talked about him earlier, he's one of the best in the game today. He's got D-Hop. What? What did you say?
Oh, I don't remember. It was a long time ago, whatever I just said.
Oh, okay, good. Yes, so we got Kyler Murray ranked number 2 on our list. Not much to say about the kid. He's amazing. He's going to get you the great points. Running backs are decent this year. He's still got the great receivers. Plus, they just added A.J. Green.
Yep.
So you have A.J. Green and D-Hop in the same. Plus, Fitzgerald. Did he retire or no?
He just said the other day that he doesn't see himself playing anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said he lost the desire to play. So we'll see. And they still got that kid who can't catch a cold. They're playing as their number 3 receiver, just like last year. So Kirk. So yeah, they still got him there too. He's absolutely atrocious.
So yeah, but yeah, Fitzgerald doesn't announce his retirement, but as of right now, you got Hopkins, Fitzgerald, AJ Green as your wide receiver set there. So not a bad group of guys. And number 1, we all know who it is. Patrick Mahomes.
Wait, are we supposed to guess or are you going to tell us?
I was going to tell you. I was going to give time to guess, but I was like, you know what? This video's gone long enough.
Because I was going to say Jimmy Garoppolo, but that's fine.
I was going to say, Jimmy Graham.
As a quarterback?
He could. He's a decent athlete.
He's 34.
Anyway, Patty Mac Mahomes out of Kansas City. Former MVP. Super Bowl MVP. Super Bowl champion in 3 years. So nothing more to say about the kid. He's got great running backs, great receivers, awesome head coach.
Best tight end.
Best tight end in the game in Kelsey, right. I don't see him having a down year at all, barring injury is the only way he's going to not have a good season. So Patty Mac Mahomes, number 1 ranked QB according to us. So number 1.
Yeah, he's
number 1.
Yeah, he's everything you could want in a quarterback plus some. He's unbelievable. So, all right, Marty, question. You got the first pick overall in a 12-team draft, PPR. Who are you taking?
I'm sorry to say, but I'm taking McCaffrey. Taking McCaffrey number 1. PPR, the guy catches how many balls out of the backfield? I mean,
I think like 100 plus every year.
Right.
Freaking insane.
You're looking at that many points just off your running back. I mean, yeah, you won't get a pick in 20 picks, but still.
Yeah, but you have a chance to get the number 1 running back. I mean, sign me up for that.
Right, yeah.
You have a guy who's going to have the most points in all the fantasy land. So, all right. So we are going to wrap it up. That is going to be our longest video of the year by about 2 hours. So we're sorry about that, but thank you for staying with us. But we are 2 fools in fantasy football. I am Tyler, the unfreaking cool Greer. Please like, please subscribe, please add, please share. Please do all of that. Let everybody know if you're on Facebook. Let everybody know on Facebook. If you're on TikTok, let everybody know on TikTok. Yeah. If you're on Instagram, if you do the Gram, let everybody know about us. And am I missing anything?
if you're tweeting.
Oh, yes.
If you tweet, if you're a tweeter.
Tweet. Yes, please let everybody on Twitter know about us too. We appreciate it. We're trying to get as many viewers as possible. We're going to be on YouTube all year long. This is our second video. I hope y'all enjoyed everything. So we are out. I am Tyler, the uncool, kind of cool fool Greer. And this, my PIC, my amigo, that guy over there is
Marty McFly, and we will see you on the next video. Y'all have a good night, guys.
all right. Thank you all. Be good. Bye-bye.